In today's video, how lean do you need to be?
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and today's video topic is basically about an Instagram post I just made. I was just reviewing some of my competitors' pictures from this year, and the question popped in my mind, well, how lean do people need to be? And I feel like this is a common concern that most of us go through, myself included, when we compete, is just how lean do we need to get? Now, depending on the organization that you're competing in, the level within that organization, be it novice, amateur, regional, national, pro, high-level pro, things can vary quite a bit. But I can't really address all the specific details, so I'm going to give you my information that I feel will be the most value to you, whatever it is that you're doing. If we're talking about bodybuilding, men's physique and bodybuilding, the two male sides of the sport, even classic physique, you are not lean enough. If you are the leanest person on stage, you will get looked at. Does this mean that you might have to sacrifice a little bit of muscle to get that lean? Depends. If you're a natural bodybuilder, most likely. If you're on stuff, maybe not as much. But the fact of the matter is, no matter what division, what age you are, if you are a man, it doesn't matter. A lot of people think classic physique, they like the shape, the lines. Classic physique is just bodybuilding with weight limits, okay? Men's physique has actually become the biggest, in my opinion. So you still need to be the leanest. There's no weight limits in the men's physique class, but when you see competitors at the physique stage, you only get 2 shots, a front and a back for the most part. Some of the smaller organizations do quarter turns, but those front and back shots, it's a lot of conditioning. How much oblique and core development do you see? That's like 50% of your physique. So how lean you need to be as a men's physique guy is extremely important. Don't think that just because you're not showing off the glutes, you don't need to have striated glutes. Men's physique guys that diet down long enough might actually get glute striations, you just don't see them. For bodybuilding, the huge advantage with being the leanest guy on stage is you can also be a little bit more aggressive with your peaking process. The leaner you are, the less fat cells you are, the less likelihood there's going to be fluid retention in those areas that have some fat cells normally. So you can be a little bit more aggressive. Whereas if you have a little bit more body fat, the peaking process, it's a little bit more difficult because you don't want to have any type of spillage in an area where fat cells are because they will retain water. So the leaner you are, it's just better for so many reasons. Now, the difficulty with getting leaner and leaner for a man is the fact that you have to see the scale go down to numbers that you probably haven't seen since high school. And as a man who is usually obsessed with the weight going up on a scale, you now have to relinquish that and allow the scale to go down. You also have to allow shirts that generally might fit you nice that are now completely baggy, right? And so if you need to get a new wardrobe, do so. That's just part of the sport. Get leaner. And if you don't know what lean looks like, don't trust pictures or magazines. Go to a show. Go to a show, see the leanest person you can find, go stand next to him, go see what they look like in person. They will be drawn in, emaciated looking in the face, but up on stage, they will shine, they will pop. You'll be like, wow, how do they have so much muscle? Then you realize they're 150 pounds in person. Being lean creates a huge illusion under those lights, okay? So that is a fact. Now for bikini, which is probably the division of competition sports that has been changing the most over the last couple of years. Whereas a couple of years ago, a softer physique would do well based on beauty and posing and muscle structure and things like that. We've now reached a point where the bikini physique has to be lean. I mean lean, okay? So for girls to get their lower bodies lean, it usually means their upper bodies are completely shredded. So much to the dismay of men or people that think bikini a couple of years ago was perfect, the girls now, most of them have lots of core detail, and if we're talking about from the back, you see the glute and hamstring separation so that we're in the rear pose. You can actually see where the hamstring and the glute meet all the way around. I call it the glute point, right? That is something that has to be kind of prominent now especially at the national and the pro level. Now, what might happen is if you're competing in bikini at a regional show or a local show and you come in that lean, you might actually get told you're too lean. But I promise you, as someone who's going to all the national shows this year and went to most of them last year, when you see it in person, the girls that are getting the most looks at that level are some of the leanest girls in the class. Now, being that lean, being really, really lean, allows you a couple things. It's really easy to be too lean and back it off through peaking. It's a lot harder to be not lean enough and try to pull off looking harder on show day than you're actually lean, right? So for me, that hard look, when they use the word dry, that has nothing to do with fluid retention. It's a visual look. Yes, you look harder. Your physique looks like it doesn't have any fluid in it. But in fact, if you're really lean, then being dry might mean drinking 2 gallons of water that day, but it's just all getting stored inside the muscle cell, and the muscle cells are swelling and pushing out against the skin. So for the bikini girl who's worried about getting too lean, you know, that's something you're gonna have to discuss with your coach and you know, pay attention to. But the advantage of being a little bit overly lean is that you can be a little bit more experimental in your peaking. You can pay attention to carbs, sodium, water, as well as your other variables like training and inflammation the week of the show, and make sure that you come in really crisp. Whereas if you're kind of chasing condition peak week, you know, it's a little bit more of a crapshoot. How are you gonna look the day of the show? What are we gonna do if, you know, you look a little too flat? It's a little bit more difficult with how to tinker things. So, and the other advantage of, you know, the old adage, getting ready too early. So this goes across the board, no matter who you are, man or woman. When you're in the gym and you're training and you got your veins in your forearms and you're looking all chiseled, people are gonna say, hey man, when's your show? You're ready, you're ready. Turn that off. Listen to your coach. Understand that you are not ready unless you are already the leanest person in your class, okay? Those last few weeks are really what makes the difference for most of the competitors, because it's very tough to get to that place, and then you use the motivation as a stage to push through. So, is it possible to get ready early? No. It is possible to be stage lean a few weeks before your show, but you're not ready early, because now we have the advantage of doing some metabolic building, adding some calories back in, tapering cardio down, really allowing the physique to just continue to get harder and better. By doing that, you didn't get ready early, you didn't peak too early, you allowed the body to kind of recover and refresh. It's a lot easier to maintain really low body fat than it is to get there. And let me repeat that. Getting lean is super, super hard. Getting to that chiseled place, there are gonna have to be weeks where you suffer and grind. But holding that conditioning is not as hard as it was to get there, okay? Once the body fat is off, we can do some things like tinker with cardio, tinker with nutrition. Now, it's easy to store body fat very quickly, but as long as you stay on your plan, I find maintaining a stage lean physique is a lot easier than obtaining it. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for me today. I hope you guys are having an awesome week. Got a fantastic visitor coming this week. Tomorrow, Katie Rutherford is coming to the house. I think I'm just gonna go pick her up from the airport in the afternoon. Podcast, maybe we'll do some Q&A videos together. I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of content, and mostly we're just gonna hang out with each other, be inspired, go lift, shoot some videos. So we'll get lots of that content out for you guys, and I'll have a Q&A post in the next day or two on my or her Instagram where we can get some questions and answer them for you guys. So hope you guys are having an awesome Monday. I'm really excited to kick off this week and get started, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All by myself.